lesson is going to cover the Be-Brawn PCA. This has been reintroduced to the course, so CCAST members will no longer need to attend the AEF course. The AEF training objectives have now been amalgamated onto the 1630 Bravo course in order for you to get dual qualification. This lesson will cover the following training objective. We're going to identify the component parts, operate all aspects of the machine, respond to alarm and alert messages, state the power supply requirements and battery charging procedure, state the environmental considerations, identify potential health and safety issues. The scope of this lesson will cover the orientation to the pump and its ancillaries. We'll discuss its 373 pre-user check, and then we'll go into the functions of the pump. Let's take a moment to orientate ourselves to the pump. The first thing we can see is the display screen with its NVG filter attached. Moving on from that, we have the arrow keys that allow us to navigate our way around the pump. We have the clear or go back button. Then we have the bolus button. To the right of that, we have the on-off button. Beneath the on-off button is the start-stop button. Then there is a connection button, which is not currently used by CCAST. Next to that would be the OK/confirm button. To the side of the pump, you can see the drive head with its removable cover. We can see here the manual release button. This is a syringe holder. If we now look at the back of the pump, to the left we can see the MOD record to show that this piece of equipment has been modified from manufacturer's use. Then we have the battery compartment. The first connection we can see is the communication port. Then to the right of that is the charging point. If we look at the bottom of the pump, we can see its Brawn sticker. It has 4 rubber feet. Here we can see the physical lock, which is used specifically to the PCA to stop any patient tampering. A PCA comes with 5 ancillaries, the first one being the bag. Then we have the patient's wristband and clip. This is to secure the button to the patient. This is the green drive head lock, which can be fitted onto the PCA to provide that additional level of security. The demand button, and finally 2 keys. So what we're going to cover now is the 373 pre-user check, and the first thing we're going to do is a physical check. So we need to confirm the following: that there is no dirt and damage on the pump, happy that there's no any cracks or any spillages. Once we're happy with that, we need to ensure that this has a blue label so we know that this is a PCA. We then need to check the TMW asset number. We need to check the MDSS serviceability sticker and check that this is in date. We then need to open the front screen and check that we have 2 magnets. We then also need to have a look at its 6 screws and check that the covers are in place. Once we're happy with that, we can close that back up, and we're now going to identify its auxiliaries and check for serviceability. What we're going to do now is inspect our ancillaries and check they're in good working order. What we're going to move on to now is the pump's functional checks. So the first thing we're going to do is switch it on with the green button. So if we press the green button, what we should see here now is the drive head will fully extend and the pump will do its self-test. Once that has done that, what we need to do now is check the syringe holder sits at 90 degrees. So we're just going to pull this out like so, turn this to the side. It should say on the screen to insert syringe. Once we're happy that we can see that, we can then close this back off and press the C button. This will ask us whether we want to use the drug library, and we would say yes to this. The only option it will give us for a drug is morphine sulfate, so we would click yes to this with the left arrow. As we can see, the required prescription is on there. So looking closely at the screen, we can check the bolus is set at 0.5 ml, which it is. We're going to check the limit is set at 10 mils an hour and the lockout is set at 6 minutes. So what we need to do now is enter the options button. So we scroll down like so, get into the options and press the left arrow. We need to check some of our parameters are correct here. Our pressure needs to be 5, our data lock is set off, our bolus rate is at 200 mils an hour, our contrast and display light and the keypad light are all set at 9, our alarm volume is also at 9 and our PCA and volume is set at 9. Our date and time are correct according to Zulu. Our macro mode is set at inactive. Once we're happy with that, all we would simply do then is turn the pump off. We should see our drive head come back to position and then we will return it to charge. And that is our 373 done. So what we're going to cover now is the main menu orientation, because this is slightly different to the Be Braun Perfuser that we're used to. So as you can see, I've already turned my pump on. If we scroll down, the first thing I'm going to go in to show you is special functions. And we have dose rate calculator and drug library, but if we go into drug library, the only drug that we can select is morphine sulfate. So if we select that, so then we'll be able to see other functions that this PCA can do. So if we click that with the left and press left again, this will bring us up all our sort of limits and things that we can do with the pump. But if we scroll further down, what we've got here is a PCA history log. So as you can see here, we've got a PCA history log, and if we enter the screen, this is where we would see a record of what's been administered and what has been demanded. So within the options button, there's a few additional changes also. You can see that the bolus rate is set at 200 mils an hour, and that's standard, but this will go from 1 to 800 mils. Also, if we scroll down further, we can see that this PCA in volume, this is also different to the Braun Perfuser. What this is referring to is when the patient presses the demand button, there's an audible bleep. So what we're going to do now is install the drive head lock. So to do this, if we just turn the pump to the side, remove the cap, ensure that the drive head lock is fully open with the keys, and then we're going to push this on like so. And then what we will do is secure this round with the key. And that is locked. As you'll remember from the orientation, we also then need to lock the other physical lock, which is the key in the back here. So we're just going to pop the key in like so, and then we're just going to turn that to lock. This is just an additional security feature with the PCA. Let's discuss now programming and infusion. So we need to enter the main menu. So we do this by using our therapy. If we say no, and then we are into this main menu button. If not already selected, when you switch on, you need to go down into the special functions, go into the drug library and select morphine sulfate, and then press OK. We need to check now that these parameters are all within range, so we need to check that our bolus volume is at 0.5, our limit is at 10 mils an hour, our lockout is at 6 minutes, our concentration is 120 milligrams per 60 mils, and we currently want no rate set. Enter volume to be infused, so we're always going to set this at 60 mils as per CCAS SOP. We're going to confirm that with OK, and then we're going to enter into the options menu. So if we go into the options menu, we need to select the data lock. So if we go into there, and we're going to select data lock 2, press OK to confirm. We're going to pop in the code, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. OK to confirm. And then we're going to press C to enter back to the main menu. And then the pump will automatically start within 20 seconds. If not, you'll have to re-enter the code. So if we press start, so collision dependent, we would say whether we're going to give a bolus. So for example, for this, we'll say that we're going to give 1 mil. Press bolus to start bolus. Then all we need to do here is confirm the data lock 2, so we can check that we can see this little key symbol is on, which is being displayed. So if I check the data elect function, I can see by pressing these that I can't get into anything. And what we need to do now prior to giving this to the patient is we're going to pop on the patient's demand button, like so. What we're going to discuss now is bolusing. So bolusing with the PCA is the same as a B-Braun perfuser with the addition of the patient demand button. So the patient can demand a bolus by pressing the yellow button like so. What you can hear is an audible alarm. As you can see, as the patient demands the bolus, you can see the arrows are going across and the dose is going up. So it's important when we have a patient with PCA that we're able to monitor what is actually being administered and what is being demanded. So if we can do this with the real-time arrows by scrolling up, and as we can see there, what's been administered and what's been demanded. Another way you can do this is by going into the main menu. So we would enter the menu, go into status, and we can also see it there as well. There are some safety critical points that we need to be aware of with the B-Braun PCA. They're the same as the B-Braun perfuser with the addition of ensure 2 physical locks and data lock 2 are set before leaving the pump with the patient. Remember that the data lock 2 code is 1234. Ensure the drive headlock is removed prior to turning the pump off. Thank you for listening to this B-Braun PCA lesson. It's important to note that this lesson is an add-on to the B-Braun perfuser, so if there's any information that you need clarifying with the use of the pump, please feel free to go back and look at the B-Braun perfuser lesson.